All right, your teacher's come back. I have my coffee. I'm alive. I am well. So, you're going to want to put in kind of, it looks like they're close to about 90-degree angles here on the top. You want to make these openings for your lights. Don't forget to add, these lights have to be shaped more. They have like a little bit of a conical. I don't know if that's a word. Anyway, they have a certain shape to them. They're not like a regular circle. They're kind of like a cone or a theatric light. And these lights, it looks like they have bars of lights in this area. So bear with me here. Excuse me. Add your border and kind of shade in that kind of look there. So this curvature starts right here where you have that opening on your roof here. So we're going to do a sloping line and a 45-degree angle. There is a bend here. But first, let's get the lip of our roof here. Let's get the lip of it. And it has an edge, it has a border. Feel free to shade that in. Don't outline it, shade it. Goes down here. Okay. Don't worry, we're gonna add the shadow in here in a minute. But first, let's get our shape in, right? We want our shape in. So let's clean up this line. Kind of get this wing in here. And let's work from left to right. So we need this line right here to go down, and then you're going to need an obtuse angle for your kind of awning here. They have like this really weird setup. I don't know if it's bent glass or what it is, but they have this setup here. And these are all shaded in. So let's add those. If you really want to get that kind of shine spot in here, add a secondary layer of shade in some areas of your ceiling here. And there's little triangular shaded spots in this part of your awning here. Now that we got this wing done, let's add a little miniature wing sticking out from the corner here for this little piece that's sticking out here. Okay. You might even want to have this humped just a little bit more, because it looks like it's leaning more. So let's kind of stress that curvature just a tad bit more. Alright, so right here, where your roof peaks, we're going to create kind of, it's almost like a little diamond. We're creating the shadow here, this bend. It looks like it comes out a little bit more, so we're actually going to extend this curve out. There we go. This needs to be extended out just a little bit more. Okay, let's extend this to our corner here of our diamondy kite-like whatever shape we got here. And we're gonna add kind of like a triangle. Okay? Go ahead, shade that in. This is the casting shadow. The undershadow, sorry, of wing number 3, maybe? 1, 2, 3. Let's go ahead. Give yourself kind of a, looks like that connects to the end of your roof. So think that it would be right here. We put those blocks in as a reference so we know where to put our lines. See, you got your 2 windows here, and then you got this piece right here that kind of launches up, out, and kind of arches over. This is that lip area. It needs to be lower. I got this curve confused with the underlip here, so. Now we have to do the top archway here. And this has to go in just a little bit. We have it way too diagonal. We got to curve it in just a tad. You'll notice as you're drawing, you'll need to make adjustments as you go, and that's okay. That's okay. Okay? So we have a little bit of a lip here that we're going to create for lighting section number 2 that's above your roofing. See? This is going to be this part. And then they have a Y. See it? Y. After you're done building your Y, you're going to go up about maybe ½ an inch to get this pointed tip here. And it's going to come down, and it's going to end very close to where you have your window frame for section 2 here. There's your Y. There's a little triangle here. And there's a little kind of seagull shape right here. Okay, see the seagull shape? See the triangle? We're going to shade that in. We're going to give our triangle 2 layers of shade though. And we're going to lighten our seagull area just a tad to allow for that undershadow for the lip of your building. And this is going to be a smear. We're going to take some of this and we're going to smear it up so we don't go too dark. And you can tell right now I need to curve curve my top even more so. So let's add this lip here. And I say more so because this is supposed to be a little bit higher. Use your referencing points. This is supposed to be a little bit higher than that one. Okay. It looks a little bit off because we're missing that shadow that comes across here, but we'll add that here in a minute. Why don't we get this in first, right? When you're done adjusting your triangle and you're done adjusting the size and the length, use your smudger to kind of create that lip that they have here. There's a little bit of a shadow or a lip. And then clean up your line. We are now going to do a contour mapping of our shadow shapes here. Kind of like what we did in our triangle, we're going to do right here. I added a triangular kind of pizza slice here for this shadow. And a little bit of the top on wing number 3. Okay? So, we also need to add the shadow that's underneath here too. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our smudger here and we're going to take the dirty tip that we've been using on our paper and we're just going to color in that kind of shape that we just drew on our paper. We don't want to go too dark too quickly, right? I'll do it over here too. Boom. Right? There's a casting or crisper shadow here because you got 2 edges coming together. However, you do have kind of a faded out shadow that comes out from that. So let's add that. Let's kind of add our little streaks here for the top of our building. Add some streaks here too, right? And then we're going to add a nice dark casting shadow, or a double shadow here, because you got the building casting upon here, and you've got the shadow underneath. This is really going to make this edge here pop. Alright, so now we have to add our tip here. Right? And we almost need to add another section of lights. Okay, let's quick do that so we can establish where our tip ends. And if you don't like how much texture is in your line when you shade, just smooth it out. This is that curve that goes up and around. You also have a shadow. So go ahead and draw your shadow in very lightly, but you're going to smudge that shadow to get the coloring that you are desiring. And then what you're going to do is you're going to erase the excess shade that is left over from the thickness of your cloth. You're going to shade that out. You want the shadow to be a certain shape. You don't want it to be some weird blob. Redefine that edge by finely stroking in that curve so you have a connector shadow, a shadow where 2 places come to meet, and then repeat. Use your windows to help guide you on where you need to add these shadows. Kind of looking at this as a whole or as a reference. And you know what? I probably should extend this out and going to have it go this way.